What is the spiritual meaning of caskets and dreams? To really get it, we need to talk about Frida Kahlo.
When Frida Kahlo was just 6 years old, polio ravaged her right leg. She learned to drag it behind her like a secret she had to keep.
Then at 18, a bus crash. A steel handrail impaled her right through the pelvis. Her spine? Shattered. Her collarbone? Shattered. Her foot was completely crushed. The doctors told her she wouldn't walk again. She walked.
But her body, it became a kind of casket, one she had to climb out of, again and again, every single morning for the rest of her life.
So in 1944, she painted herself lying inside a casket. Now, this wasn't her being morbid, this was her being ruthlessly, brutally honest.
Because Frida understood something that most of us spend our entire lives running away from. She knew the casket is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of the question.
She died when she was 47. You know what her last diary entry said? "I joyfully await the exit, and I hope never to return." That wasn't defeat, that was completion.
And this is the woman your dream about a casket wants you to meet. Not the corpse lying inside, the transformer, the one who gets out.
So let's talk about you. Why are you dreaming about a casket?
Okay, let's get one thing straight right now. Your psyche is not predicting your death, it's announcing a transformation. A change so massive your unconscious had to pull out the most dramatic symbol it has just to get your attention.
What you're dealing with here is what Carl Jung called the archetype of death and rebirth. It's this ancient universal pattern that gets activated in your dreams when something in your life has hit a breaking point. It's one of the most urgent messages you can possibly get from your unconscious.
And this dream isn't here for small talk. It's here to ask some hard questions. So here's the first one. What part of you has been buried? You know, slowly, quietly, without any kind of ceremony.
Question number 2, what identity, what relationship, what version of yourself is already dead, but you just haven't mourned it yet?
And third, in the dream, are you in the casket or are you standing at the graveside? And what is the price you're paying for that choice?
And finally, what are you refusing to bury even though you know it's already dead? Look, these questions aren't supposed to be comfortable. You don't dream of caskets when everything is just fine.
See, when parts of yourself are denied for too long, your unconscious has to escalate. It starts with a little whisper of unease, then it sends symbols. But a casket? That's a whole new level. It's not whispering anymore, it is standing at your front door banging.
And for women, I mean, for us especially, this dream has an explosive, urgent relevance.
Because women are socialized to bury parts of themselves so completely it starts to feel like a virtue, right? You call it being patient. You call it being kind, being selfless. Your unconscious, it calls it what it is, a slow burial.
Frida Kahlo didn't go through 35 surgeries by being patient and kind. No. She survived by refusing to stay in the casket that life kept building for her. She painted her way out. She screamed her way out. She loved recklessly and created with this ferocious energy, right up to the very end.
Your dream is demanding you do the same because the casket, it's not a threat, it's a deadline.
Something in your life needs to be put in the ground for good. Or something deep inside you needs to be violently, joyfully resurrected. Maybe both. But what you cannot do is stay in the middle, in that half-alive, half-dead place. The dream won't let you.
You don't have 35 surgeries to wake you up. You have this dream. So that's the real question, isn't it? Buried or resurrected? Which is it going to be?
Casket dreams. Part 2. Okay, let's get one thing straight right now. Your unconscious is precise. The little details in these dreams, they are not random garbage from your day. They are a diagnosis, a direct, unfiltered message from the wisest part of who you are. So if you dream you're alive inside a casket, you need to wake up and listen. This is the most urgent warning your psyche can possibly send you. It's a direct vision of your own self-imprisonment. And here's the crucial part. This wasn't done to you. You built this box. You climbed in. You probably even nailed the lid shut yourself. So what do? The prescription is simple. You have to name the container, and not tomorrow, today. What is it? A career you've outgrown? A relationship that feels more like a tomb? An identity as the good one that's literally choking the life out of you? You have to write it down. One single sentence. I am living inside a blank. and it is suffocating me. That is your key. That's how you start getting out. Now, if you see a child's casket in your dream, that is a 5-alarm fire for your soul. It means your inner child, that core of you that holds all the spontaneity, the wonder, the raw emotion, isn't just being ignored. No, she is being actively exterminated by the relentless, crushing demands of your adult life. And the fix for this is not another face mask. This is not about self-care. This demands an immediate, radical reconnection with pure joy, pointless joy, the kind you had before the world told you to be practical. So this week, I want you to find one thing that is delightfully, beautifully useless and do it with total commitment. Your psychological survival literally depends on it. Think about this one for a second. You're buried alive. You're conscious of it, but you're unable to scream. This is absolutely a trauma signal. It's your shadow at its most savage. You're fully aware of your own burial, yet you're completely paralyzed. But here's the twist. Your consciousness, your awareness, that is your power. The paralysis is just the problem you have to solve. You have to act in the real world with the same frantic urgency you feel in that dream. Not next week, not tomorrow, today. You have to identify where in your life you are being buried alive and have stayed silent. And then you must find your voice. That silent scream needs a real-world outlet. Now. Okay, a different kind of message comes from the dream of an empty casket. What this means is a death has already happened, but you're refusing to hold the funeral. Your psyche is screaming at you that the loss is real, and your denial is turning the wound septic. So I'm asking you directly, right now, what ended that you never properly grieved? Was it the friendship that just faded to black? The future you had to abandon? The love that died long, long before the actual breakup? You know exactly what it is. The only way forward is to go back and perform the ritual. You have to grieve it. Light a candle, write the damn letter. Let yourself feel the full weight of it. Because this ritual is not some self-indulgence. It is psychological surgery. It is the only thing that will close the wound so you can finally heal. Now, this is the dream that causes the most panic. You see someone you know, someone you love, in that casket. First, calm down. This is almost never a premonition of death. Your unconscious is killing off a pattern, not a person. That person in the casket simply represents a part of you that they embody. So the work here is dissection. You have to ask, what does this person truly represent to me? Is it your need for their approval, your buried resentment, your dependency, whatever it is? The dream is giving you a massive gift. It's burying a toxic dynamic for you. Your job is to let it die. You want to see a perfect symbol for self-sabotage? Here it is. The casket that just will not close. The lid keeps popping open. This is you, flat out refusing to finalize an ending. You go through all the motions of burial, but some part of you keeps digging it right back up. So you have to make a definitive choice. What is it you keep unburying? The ex you keep stalking online? The grudge you keep feeding? It is time for one final goodbye. And then you have to enforce it. Walk away from that graveside, and don't you dare look back. This brings us into our final theme, transformation. So picture this. You're at a funeral, but it's for a total stranger. This is incredibly profound. You're mourning the unknown self, the parts of you that are so deeply buried, they no longer even have a face. You are grieving your own lost potential. When you have this dream, understand that it comes right before a massive personal reinvention. The prescription is to start excavating now. Get into therapy, start journaling, start asking those terrifying questions you've been avoiding. Because that stranger in the casket, that's you. It's time to go find her. Now, if you dream that you are carrying the casket, it's actually an affirmation. It means you are consciously bearing the full weight of an ending because you know it's absolutely necessary for your transformation. The work is hard, the weight is real, but you're going in the right direction. So you have to honor that weight. You have to stop pretending this transition is easy. Find one person you trust and tell them the absolute truth. I am in the middle of something that is costing me everything. A pallbearer does not carry the casket alone. You need to ask for help. All of this leads to a crucial idea, one that's often symbolized by a casket overflowing with flowers. You are in the compost phase. And yes, it absolutely feels like rot. It feels like decay, but it's not. It is actually generation. This is the core message from your deepest self, from the bottom of the well. This is not the end. This is the soil. All that grief, all that loss, all of those endings, that's the fertile ground from which your new life is going to grow. And finally, we get to the most transcendent of these dreams, watching your own funeral from above. You've become the witness. You've achieved enough psychological distance from your current self that you can actually watch her end. This is the ultimate sign that you are ready for the next version of you. So let's adopt that perspective right now. From that elevated position, from way up there, what do you see that you could not see while you were stuck alive inside of it? What patterns suddenly become crystal clear? What futures become possible? Because that is the crucial point of all of this. Every one of these dreams, from the most terrifying to the most beautiful, is not an omen. It's a blueprint. It is a clear instruction manual from the wisest part of you for how to build a new life. Do not waste it. Part 3. All right, the interpretation is done. You know what the dream means. But knowing isn't enough. Now you have to move. A dream's message, it has a shelf life, and the clock is ticking. You know that feeling, that jolt of urgency you get right when you wake up? That's not anxiety, that's a gift. It's your psyche opening a direct line, a window for change. If you let it fade, if you just ignore it, the next dream is gonna have to scream just to get your attention. So, okay, how do you act on this? Well, for some of us, for the woman who processes through symbol, the language has to be, well, symbolic. We're talking about a private funeral. This is how you make a psychological ending real. It's how you create space for whatever's coming next. Here's the playbook. First, you're gonna write down the name of what is dying, the job, the relationship, that old version of you. Put it on paper. Second, light a candle and read a eulogy for it out loud, even if your voice shakes. Then, you burn the paper. And listen, this isn't theater. This is deep psychology. Your unconscious speaks this language, so don't you dare skip it because it feels strange. The strangeness is the entire point. And I want you to really let this sink in. You have been carrying this loss without a ceremony for way too long. And the weight, oh, it's showing. This is not a suggestion, it is a prescription. Do this before the week is out. Okay, but what if all that ritual stuff just isn't your language? What if you're the woman who processes through clarity, through cold, hard facts? Then your tool is analysis. It's time to drag every single buried truth out into the light with a brutally honest audit. I want you to take out a piece of paper right now. Draw a line straight down the middle. On the left, write still alive. On the right, already dead. Now, you categorize everything. Every relationship, your career, your creative life, your friendships, how you see yourself, and there is no room for it's complicated. No negotiation. Be ruthless, because ambiguity, that's just a slow form of decay. Now look at what you've made. This isn't just a list, it's a map. That already dead column, that is your dream, right there, on paper, staring you in the face. And every single item on that list demands a choice. Right now, a deliberate burial or an emergency resuscitation. There is no third option. Now, if you process through writing, this is for you. I want you to write a letter, but not to the part of you in the casket, no. You're gonna write it from her. Give that buried self a voice. What is she absolutely furious about? What did she become too quiet about? And listen to me, you are not making this up. You are translating a direct message from your own unconscious. You need to understand the stakes here. That buried self, she is not going to wait patiently. She will either die for good, taking a vital part of you with her, or she will erupt in a way you cannot control. The choice is yours. All right, let's shift gears. This isn't just happening in your mind. Your body, your physical self, has been carrying this psychological death. It's time to reconnect. It's time for a resurrection, through movement, through creation. The practice is simple, but it is not easy. Today, I want you to put on one song that hurts. You know the one. Stand in the middle of a room and just let your body respond. Shake, sway, crumple to the floor, rise back up, whatever it does. Grief lives in our cells. The dream showed you a casket for a reason. It's about the body. This practice gives your physical self a voice. And speaking of that, I have a question for you, and I want an honest answer right now. What did you used to make? What creative act did you bury because you were too busy or decided you weren't good enough? Name it. Say it out loud. Let's be very clear. Burying your creativity is a slow motion act of violence against yourself. Your psyche sent you a funeral notice. Your only valid response is to provide proof of life. Make something this week. I don't care if it's good. No audience, no goal. Just make it.
All right, now for the woman of action. For you, the path forward is direct. It's about making the decisive moves you've been avoiding and finally speaking the truths you have silenced.
You know the one I'm talking about. The truth you've been swallowing to protect someone else, or maybe just yourself. That silence is what's in the casket. You have to have that conversation this week. The outcome is irrelevant. The act of speaking is everything.
Picture it. There is a psychological door you have been standing in front of for months, maybe even years. You know exactly what it is. You are stuck at the threshold, waiting.
Does this look familiar? The job, the move, the ending, the beginning. You don't need more time. You don't need more information. You need to take one single step through that door.
And you need to hear this. This is the final alarm. The life waiting for you on the other side of that door will not wait forever. You are running out of the kind of time that allows for reinvention. Move now. So where does all this leave us? This dream is not a threat. It is not a curse. It is an activation. It is your psyche forcing you, begging you to make the darkness conscious. Jung said it best. You don't become enlightened by just imagining angels and light. You do it by having the courage to look at what's in the shadows. Your dream has just turned on the lights in a very dark room. It all comes down to this. 3 choices. Bury what is truly over, resurrect what is fighting to live, and for everything else stuck in the middle, make a decision, because indecision is just a decision to let things rot. Remember this. The casket is not where you are headed. It is a diagnosis of where you are right now. The cure is in your hands. Now, treat it.